الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعين له بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وآل بيت كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Okay, so this is what's happening. The ladies class loses people and it picks up people here and there. Right now you're losing people because Aisha is in Africa. My daughter, she moved someplace else in Flushing, so she's probably not gonna participate. Some sisters have a problem with traveling because the distance and traveling time, and then sometimes they have children and they get in they wake up with the intention of going to do class, and then the children do something in the house that kind of knocks off their ability to travel and different things like that. Illnesses, different things. So because I limited this class, I didn't do it in the mosque. I did that on purpose. What happens, like your roles go down, because unless you decide to invite your friends or you have somebody or something like that you want to bring with you. Later on today, there will be a couple of sisters that will come here for some other reason, and I'll inform them about this class and see if I can incorporate them into your class. Whereas like the brothers, because I give it in the mosque and they've been knowing me for a long time, it's like I'm always have like at least 15, 20 brothers, in the class. They're kind of like different because they ask different types of questions. They're like, Anyway, I want you to consider, if you can like put up maybe a flyer like in your school, a flyer or something like that, saying like, this brother's giving a class, free class for ladies, and invite them or something like that on your job or something. When you play, or you got a friend or something, because you need to build up your roles. I don't mind doing it with just you. Believe me, it's okay with me. But when it's more people, it makes the teacher feel like more like apt to give more in-depth explanation. Like right now, I just feel like I'm talking to myself basically, except that occasionally y'all ask me something. But I'm not a lecturer. A lecturer is a person who just talks. He just talks and nobody says nothing. I don't like that method. That's why even when I give khutbahs and stuff, I don't really like doing it. I like to talk to the people. I like them to be able to talk back to me. That way I know that they're getting what I'm talking about. So if you see, when you go online and you want to see when my wife puts up the men's class on this subject, you're going to see them, they're going to be interacting with me differently. Because I'll say something and they'll be saying something back to me. So I'll know that they're getting it. Even though they'll make a lot of mistakes. A lot of times they make mistakes and then I'll correct the mistake that they made, but they won't keep making it. After a while, they're going to be getting it. So I know they're getting it because they're talking back to me. So I need you to kind of like don't be bashful when it comes to this. Because if you don't let me know, I'm thinking that you got it. See? And then you go away and you won't have it and you'll be, stumbling. So I want to make sure that you understand me. So anytime you have any kind of problem, any kind of information you need from me, anything I can help you with, don't hesitate. Because that's what I'm here for. And it doesn't bother me. I would prefer that you did that. Okay? Even if to you go, this question might not be such a great question to actually not me. Don't worry about that. Ask me anyway. Let me do that part. You just ask the questions. It's better. Okay? Dr. used to say, there's no such thing as a stupid question. All questions are good questions. Because if you asking it, that means you want to know. You're not considering how does it sound to the person who you asking. You want to know the answer. That's all you're concerned about. When I was a student, I was like that. I asked so many daggone questions that the other guys in the class, they didn't even bother anymore. They said, well, Brother Amin going to ask the questions, And all of us going to benefit from his questions. So we just wait and let him ask the questions, and we'll take down whatever they say after that. So, because I was a question answer asking person. That's how my mind works. You can't just tell me anything, and that's the end of it. So, okay. Allah was telling what's the name?
He's the same way.
Who's that?
My son?
Yeah, man. Some people are just born that way. That's just that's their character. That's why I became a Muslim, and no matter how much they try to send me to church, or to the Nation of Islam, or the 5%ers, or none of that stuff, they could never captivate my mind. Because if you ask them questions, they couldn't answer the questions. And then they tell you something like, oh, you just have to believe us. No! You got to answer me better than that. If you want me to listen to you, you got to answer me better than that. So, okay? Anyway, don't be afraid. Ask me whatever you need, inshallah. I'll be more than happy to try to help. And if I can't help, I'll tell you, see me the next time. Let me do some research. Like I've done that with Hala before. I said, let me just, even though I didn't tell her that, but as soon as she left, I started doing some research. So that when she came back, I would be able to answer that question better. You see? Okay. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala. Now, I can't go backwards on this subject. So we're going to go missing a fard from the last rakat and remembering no, that can't be the right one, no. Okay. Missing a fard not from the last rakat. Okay? Did I do what you, Holly, you was writing notes?
Yeah.
Did I do what you missing something in the last rakat and remembering before salams?
That's where you left off.
That's where I left off, right? That's what I thought. So I did the first two cases. Now the third case of that is, if it is the standing from ruku you have missed, when you remember, you should stand in the bent ruku position, do all that comes after it, and make sujood saw after salams. I didn't tell you all that one, right? That's where we're going to start from today.
That was from the last class?
That was from the last class.
All right, but you're talking about doing this in the last rakat, because I know
missing something in the last rakat and remembering before salams.
All right.
Okay, this thing, missing something, that's just the wording that they're using. What they really mean is missing something that is a farid. A fard meaning something that you have to do in your prayer. If you don't do it, the prayer would become invalid. Okay? You wouldn't have no prayer if you don't do this fard. Things like a Fatiha when you stand start your rakat. All of the postures, like ruku, standing from ruku, the sujood, sitting in between, all of those things are called fard. Fard also is the first takbir. When you first time you say Allahu Akbar, that's a fard, right?
Can I ask a question? What about at-tahiyyat?
Attayatu.
Yeah.
That's called sunnah mu'akhada.
Okay.
It's the name of it is at-tashahhud.
Okay. Yeah, I have that down.
At-tashahhud. At-tashahhud is a major sunnah. So, you can miss a tashahhud and keep your prayer. Because a tashahhud is what they call sunnah mu'akhada. It means a major sunnah. But you can't miss a fard like ruku, sujood, standing to recite al-Fatiha. You can't miss those things and consider that you still have a prayer. You understand what I said? They are fard. A tashahhud is sunnah. Big sunnah, but sunnah. So, unless you have a legitimate excuse that would allow you not to do the fard properly, something like this. Like, let's say you have a problem with your back that wouldn't allow you to make ruku the way we normally make ruku. The making of ruku is a fard. But for anybody else who only moved their head and didn't do the fard the way it's supposed to be, they would have missed the fard of ruku. Their prayer would be invalid.
So I've seen this before, like for example, maybe during Tarawih or something like that, towards the end somebody gets tired and I've seen people sit down and make the whole salat. I don't know if there's like a major health issue like you're talking about or...
Don't have to be.
Okay.
Okay, let me go set this straight now. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak ala Muhammad. All of this discussion is about 5 prayers.
Okay.
The Subh prayer in the morning, the Zohar prayer, the Asr prayer, the Maghrib prayer, and the Isha prayer. In the madhab of Imam Malik, every other prayer is considered as nafil. This subject has nothing to do with those. This is only for fixing
The fard prayer.
the fard prayers. So, if you want to sit down and make nafil, you don't even have to have an excuse. You just do it because you don't feel like standing up. That's okay. But you can't do that for the fard prayers, the 5 obligatory prayers.
So is there a different way of fixing nafil prayers or?
No, you don't even worry about that.
So let's say you're making a nafil prayer and you forget one of the fards.
If you forget something in the nafil prayer and just make salams, you just forgot a nafil. It doesn't. It's you don't owe nafils.
Yeah.
Nafils are optional.
Yeah.
You don't owe nafils. See, the reason that we working on fixing our prayers is because the 5 daily prayers, if you don't do them, you owe them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want to figure out how do we keep these prayers, because we don't want to keep owing prayers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he has a method that he calls the patching of prayers. That's what Sujood al-Sahw is. It teaches you how to fix your prayers so that you don't lose them. But the nafil, if you lose it, you just lose it. It's like nafils are not, you're not held accountable for those like that. The only purpose, let me tell you something. The nafils, of course, they are sunnah, but not sunnah mu'akkada. They're sunnah because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did some nafils, some sunnah prayers all the time connected to the fard prayers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His mercy, He gives us the ability to gain something from these nafil prayers that we couldn't gain without doing them. And the thing that we gain is, let's say you mess up some prayers. You didn't do your fard prayers properly for some reason. And then when you die, you owe those prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His mercy, He will look around, He will try to find a way to give you the benefit, even though you owe some prayers. So He'll look at your nafil prayers. He'll say, oh, okay, you volunteered and did these prayers. I'm going to replace that prayer with this prayer. You understand? That's His mercy. Then if He can't find none of that, let's say somebody didn't make nafil prayers, but they made a lot of tasbih. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, oh, okay, you didn't make too many nafil prayers, but you made a lot of zikr. Or you read a lot of the Quran. You understand what I'm saying? So He will find things that He could replace one ibadah with another one. But we can't be 100% sure that we're going to fall into that category. So, if it's something we can do, we do it. The fard prayers, we don't know what category we're going to be in, except that if we don't do them, we owe them. Maybe He will give us some benefit like that. Maybe He won't. Like Dr. used to say, you have to have fear and hope. But, it's not, Allah didn't promise that, I'm going to replace this with that. Maybe He will, depending on the individual, what other work he did, and what kind of person she was, and all that kind of stuff. And, but not necessarily. He don't have to do it. So we have to be able to fix these prayers, these 5 daily prayers. You following me? Okay. So don't never mix that up again. The what they call the supererogatory prayers are voluntary. if you don't do them, there's no punishment for it. But if you do them, there's reward for it, and that's why people do them. See? The other way around with the Fard prayers. If you don't do them, there's definitely punishment for it. Okay? All right.
Still,
I'm
like,
listening.
So, like for example, like the 2 rakat sunnah before Fajr or after Maghrib or witr, right? I know you've mentioned those ones are like, even though they're sunnah,
They're big.
Yeah. So that, for example, if somebody wants to do it because of the big reward, and they realize that they made a mistake, it's still okay to repair it, right?
You could try.
Do it again.
You can practice your sujood sahu. You know what I mean? You can practice your sujood sahu. But, you know,
Yeah.
they're not Fard.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, it's good to practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I wouldn't tell you not to do it. I'm telling you, you know, you practice it, you know, and you mean will it be accepted as being fixed? That's what you're saying?
Or like, yeah. No, I guess it will. But
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will, you know. But, you know, those prayers, if you fix it today, you know, just make sure you don't make the same mistake tomorrow. Something sort of like that, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but the Fard prayers are different.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to ask me? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You want to ask
I was
me?
listening.
Okay, go ahead. You can wait.
oh.
You can ask me other subjects too.
Okay.
Don't worry. You know, I won't lose my train of thought. I've been doing this so long that it's like ingrained in my brain. You know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So for witr, for example, right? What about the dua, like kunut? I think that's what it's called.
Do a canoe.
Is witr defined by that dua? And if you don't do it, is that something that needs to be fixed, or is witr just like the odd prayer
I understand the
that,
question.
Yeah.
Okay, Allahumma salli wa sallam barakallahu Muhammad. So this is a little bit off this subject matter. I'll let you girls get away with it. I'll let you ladies get away with it because you don't get to see me that often. The guys, I don't let them do that. They have to stay, their questions have a period that they have to wait till I get to the question period. And then if it's something outside of the subject, I'll answer them then. But you get more benefit than that because I don't see you that often. So, in the month of Imam Malik, the witr prayer doesn't have the kanut, first of all. In the month of Imam Malik, the kanut comes in the second rak'ah in the morning prayer, the Fard prayer in the morning, in the second rak'ah before ruku. After you recite Al-Fatiha and Quran, then you will recite kanut. Okay? In the month of Imam Malik, the nafil prayer that comes before the Fard in the morning doesn't have Quran recitation or anything except Al-Fatiha, and it goes fast. It's called Ragiba. You want me to explain it more?
Please.
Okay. In the morning, before you make the 2 rakats aloud with the Quran and the kanut, once you find out where it goes, there will be 2 rakats that you make. It's called Ragiba. These 2 rakats, the Prophet ﷺ say, they are worth the world and all that it contains. And these 2 rakats are done quickly, silently and quickly. This is what Ragiba means, something small. These 2 rakats, Ragiba, the Prophet ﷺ say they are worth the world and all it contains. After you make them, then you're going to make the Fard prayer of the morning, which we call Subh.
It's cool.
Subh. S-U-P-H. Subh. Some people call it Fajr. Fajr is the time of day. It's not the name of the prayer. Fajr means the dawn. It's the time of day. It doesn't mean the name of the prayer. The prayer's name is Subh. And it means those 2 rak'ah that you make in the morning, and that's where you will make your kanut. after you recite Al-Fatiha and Quran in the second rakat, before Allahumma inna nasta'inuka wa nastaghfiruka wa nu'minu bika wa natawakkalu alayka wa nuthni alayka al-khayra kullahu nashkuruka wa la nakfuruka wa nakhna'u laka wa nahla'u wa natruku man yakfuruk. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa ilayka nusalli wa nasjudu wa ilayka nasa wa nafidu narju rahmataka wa nakhafu azabaka in azabaka ajribil kafirina mulhik. That's your kanut. And so what we're going to do, you're going to come to that class. I've done it with the brothers. I don't think I did it with you.
No.
I'm going to do it with you line by line until you learn to make your kanut. But not till after I do this subject. Because I realize that this subject is the subject that gets your attention. It makes your mind start to have to work. Like other times I'm teaching you and I'm getting the impression that you're just hearing me go on, but you're not really following me. See, and that happens because, you know, it's like when you look at that TV, right? You're not talking back to the TV, well, some people do, but and generally, you know, you're watching TV, the TV is entertaining you, but you know, it's not really getting no interaction with you, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I'm the TV. So I'm talking to you, and you know, you're sitting there, you're watching the TV, but you're not really taking the full benefit of it because your mind is not being stimulated. It's like, you know, it's like you're here, you're listening, but it's not really stimulating. This is a different type of subject. This subject is like mathematics. So if you're not if your mind is not following what I'm saying, you completely lost. So if you know the smart people are gonna be like, wait a minute, I'm getting lost. Shake. So I got your attention. See? Okay, that's why I went to this subject. Wake you up. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak ala sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, so missing something from the last rak'ah and remembering before salams. So I got to this part. Let's say if you're standing from the ruku that you have missed, if it's the standing from the ruku that you have missed, when you remember, you should stand in the bent ruku position. Don't worry, you're going to be able to write it all down. First, let me get the information out to you. Then I'll slow it down so you can write it. Then, after you stand in the bent ruku position, you will do the ruku and everything that come after it, and you will make sujood al-sahwi after salams. You're going to listen to this part, and you're going to repeat with me. You make sujood al-sahwi
After salam.
because you added to the prayer. You would make sujood al-sahwi before salams if you miss something in the prayer, a sunnah, right? You have to miss one major sunnah or two minor sunnah to have to make sujood al-sahwi before salams. That's the rule. If you miss something and you add something, you're going to make sujood al-sahwi before salams. That's the rule. So it's three cases. One case is that you add something to the prayer.
You make it after.
You make sujood al-sahwi after salams for that. The second case is if you miss a major sunnah or two minor sunnahs or more, then you're going to make sujood al-sahwi before salams. The third case is if you add and miss, you're going to make sujood al-sahwi before salams. Now, let's say the thing that you miss was a fard. The thing that you miss was a fard. Can sujood al-sahwi fix that?
No, you'd have to repair the part.
Absolutely. Those are the main four rules of this subject. If you miss a fard, sujood al-sahwi does not help you with missing a fard. You have to fix it by fixing the fard itself.
And then making the sujood.
And then make sujood al-sahwi. That's right. Okay. Now, that, you got to remember that. So, look, when you make a mistake in your prayer, right? The first thing you're going to look at is, what was the mistake? If the mistake was a fard, you got to fix that. Immediately, you got to fix it. You can't just keep going forward. because you don't have no prayer. If you keep going forward and don't fix it all the time you're in your prayer, you might as well just be doing exercise. Wait. You don't have no prayer. Okay? When you fix it, the second thing is you have to look and see what did you do before you fixed it. Did you add something to the prayer? If you did, you make sujood al-sahwi after salams for what you added. If you, in fixing it, you couldn't fix a major sunnah that you left, because once you leave them and you move on to the next part, you can't go backwards. You make sujood al-sahwi for missing before salams. Sometimes in fixing your prayer, you're going to have something missing. Can't be far though. It can only be sunnahs. You're going to have something missing and something added. When that happens, you're going to make sujood al-sahwi before salams. So when you make the mistake, I'm coming to you. When you make the mistake, you're going to be like a mathematician in your prayer. You're going to say, oh, I missed that. I could fix that because that's a fault. I got to fix that. Then after I fix that, I'm going to do all the things that came after that. So I'm going to have to make sujood al-sahwi after salams because I had made a couple of things I did before I remembered that I had to fix the fault. You understand me? That's how but you're going to, by the time you get to using this on a daily basis or something, it's going to be like a quick equation in your head. You're going to be like fixing your prayers, you're going along without no problem. Then you'll see Shaitan, a'udhu billahi, he'll kind of like stay away from you in your prayer more, because he'll know that, you know, if he comes to you and make a mistake, and he talks to you and you make a mistake, you have the ability to fix the mistake. So he's going to get tired of helping you, help you get more reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the reward of being able to fix your prayer, they say, is bigger than the person who don't make no mistake. Because of the work you have to put in to learn to fix it is the Sunnah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, now I ask.
Okay. What if I miss a major sunnah or two minor sunnahs, and I didn't realize it? And let's say I did the prayer, gave my salams, and let's say maybe 15 or 20, maybe a half an hour went by, and I realized, oh, I forgot. Do I have to make the prayer totally over again, or can I just make the...
Okay, I can answer you right away. Allahumma salli wa sallam barakallahu Muhammad. Okay. The reason that you're making the sujood al-sahwi after salams or before salams for these sunnahs is because it's proper. It's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will still let you keep your prayer if you didn't make it. But it would be like kind of bad manners before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see? Bad manners. Not like the fard. If you don't fix the fard, immediately you lost your prayer. But the sunnahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you didn't make the sujood al-sahwi, He'll let you keep your prayer. But it would not be presented to Him properly. So, you know, maybe He will accept your prayer, maybe He won't accept your prayer. He may not like your prayer, you know, but it's not automatic that if you didn't make sujood al-sahwi for missing something, a sunnah, that, you know, like your prayer would be, it don't invalidate your prayer. That's your question.
Yes.
Yes. Allahumma salli wa sallam barakallahu Muhammad. But so that people don't get the wrong impression, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it so that you know that things like this in your prayer are considered as good manners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like if you go to look for a job, and when they introduce you to the person who is the representative of the company who's going to give the job, you come and you say, yo, what up, yo? So what's up with the job? I mean, come on, Holmes. You understand? Bad manners. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that job. Bad manners. So when you present yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say the same thing. When you present yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to present yourself in the most properly mannered way. Now, even though technically, if you miss the sujood al-sahwi, it would not make you nullify your prayer, but you will not get much benefit from that prayer because you with Allah. That's the best way I can explain it to you. Okay?
So similarly, even though your prayer wouldn't be valid, if you just forgot to make the sujood and remember 2 hours later, you can just quickly go make 2 sujood.
Well, no. 2 hours later, you wouldn't have to.
That's done.
Just forget it.
Okay.
2 hours later, no.
Okay.
But listen, this is the thing that people kind of, I have to really explain this because people are strange. They can get away with something they think they can get away with. They'll just go crazy and getting away with stuff. They will start making sins if they intentionally are not taking care of this stuff. First of all. And then, depending on how much of it they do, if they're not making their sujoos when they know, and they know how, their prayer would be invalid. Because they're not taking care of the prayer itself. You can't like know something and then say, well, I ain't doing it. That's some type of sin. You understand? You may be able to get away with it forgetfully. For sure you can get away with it forgetfully. You can say, like Samir said, two hours later you say, oh, I forgot to do sujood saw before salams for, missing a tashahhud. Okay. You can relax, Samir, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, if you forgot something 2 hours ago and it wasn't a fard in your prayer, it's okay. You're not doing that intentionally. You had walked away from the prayer 2 hours ago. He don't expect you to do nothing about that now. But what he wants you to do is keep it in the front of your head when you start to pray the next time so that don't become a habit. Because if it becomes a habit, that means you're not taking care of your prayer, and then the prayers will become invalid. You understand? All right. I'm happy that I had this talk with you because a lot of times people think they're doing their prayers properly, and they're not. It's like I had the conversation with the brothers just now. There was a time when there was nobody to teach this type of subject. When that time was in existence, people got away with a lot with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because, he didn't expect you to invent this stuff out of your own mind somewhere. And so, he didn't make you responsible for it. But as soon as somebody is available to teach you about these things,
you're responsible.
Then everybody's responsible. It's like in the pre-Islamic period, right? Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak ala Muhammad. When the people first came to this country, there was no Islam. They're not held responsible for all the salats and all the Ramadans and everything that they didn't make because they didn't know that they had to make it. Until 75 years ago, Islam was not even a word in this country. Other countries have had Islam for over 1,000 years. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at us like we're still in the embryo stage. Okay? So when the people were in that position, they weren't responsible. If they didn't make prayers right and different stuff like that, okay. Allah was forgiven because they didn't know and there was nobody to teach them. But as soon as somebody came to teach them, the whole society, everything in the society is different now. You pick up the newspaper, first thing you say, Muhammad Gupti, the cab driver did so and so and so. Bashir Ahmed, the store owner did so and so and so. As soon as people hear that, the first thing they associate that with is Islam. Even the disbelievers. Now in this country, they know, especially after 9/11 and all that stuff, and now they know, there's a lot of Muslims among us. So that makes them now, when they go before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, responsible for this deen. They can't go before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, well, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about this. You're going to say, well, wait a minute. You had like 5 neighbors that, the ladies came in, they always had their heads covered and everything, or, you always see them on Friday, a whole group of them going off to the mosque. You knew about that. You just chose not to do it. See? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't make us guilty for what we don't know or what we can't do. Yes.
As far as with the phrase, if saying a phrase in English, are they still valid?
Okay, good question. This is what we're going to do. It has a time limit like this. When a new Shahada, but she's not the one that just took the Shahada.
No, Sky.
Sky, we got her paperwork.
Yes.
When you see her, tell her she got her paperwork for her Shahada is here.
I spoke with the sister today.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Sky.
okay.
I called her myself.
Okay. So let me tell you. What happens is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His mercy and His knowledge, He knows that we're all not the same. So He's measuring your ability to do your prayers in the Arabic language, which is what you're supposed to do, by, your ability, So He'll say, okay, he should learn how to do a Fatiha in about a week. So I'll give him like a week to learn how to recite a Fatiha. But Brother Boo Boo over here, it's going to take him like more than a month. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him that month to learn. You understand? So it's by your ability and your desire and how much effort you put into it. But for the people who are new, brand new, they can take a book like this. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahir Rahman. Whatever they could do, if they could only say, Allah, 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 Muhammad, 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 I love you, Allah, Allahu Akbar. That's a prayer for them. But it only lasts for a certain amount of time, depending on how much effort they put into it. If they're not putting no effort into it, their time goes fast. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's not going to let you say one thing with your mouth and not practice another thing with your limbs. So you got to be trying. Now, if a person is trying, but it's difficult because the Arabic language is not their first mother language, and it's difficult, Allah is going to give you a lot of mercy and ease and patience. And they're trying. But it's hard for them. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So, in the meantime, when somebody comes to you for Shahada, you tell them, okay, look, you make your prayer by any way you can. The first thing you learn is the postures. So that if somebody's looking at you, they're going to say, oh, that's a Muslim making their prayer. They don't know what you're saying, but they can see by your body movement that you move like the Muslims who making their prayer. So that's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing you're going to do is start to learn how to recite Al-Fatiha. Because Al-Fatiha is the part of the prayer that you have to say in every prayer every day. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you some time to learn how to do those two things. And after that, you'll be expected, until you gain some better knowledge, to do as best you can. That's all.
I'm trying.
You're fine. You're fine. If you try, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will aid you. And you'll be surprised. It's going to seem like, the more you try, it's going to seem like, wow, a couple of months ago, I couldn't do none of this. Now I'm doing it. Alhamdulillah. That's how it works. It happened to all of us. Believe me, it happened to all of us. I didn't come out, being Mr. Sheikh Amin. I started from the beginning just like everybody else did. Okay? Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak ala Muhammad. Now, you want to ask me anything else? Sabi, I know you got questions, Sabi.
But it's not related to this, so I don't want to ask it.
I know you got questions, Sabi. I can look at your face. I know. You want to ask me?
It's not related to this.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you pray a salat and then after, like this happened to me the other day, I prayed and then I went to do something else and maybe like 5-10 minutes later I looked at I realized that, oh, the salat just came in, so like I know.
You prayed the salat before it came in.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Your husband has asked me the same question.
Oh, but he didn't tell me the answer because I asked him and then he said, oh, maybe I'll ask you again. And then he didn't tell me the
Yeah,
answer.
but I'll tell you, I can tell you.
Okay.
He gonna tell you the same thing. Listen
Okay.
to me. These are prayer times by these calendars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're not 100%.
Mhm.
First of all, they usually make those like behind the real starting time.
Okay.
The reason they do that is so it gives everybody the ability to congregate at a certain time. But they didn't have that during the time of the Prophet sallallahu by the sun, moon, and stars. They didn't have a preordained 12:30 we gonna make our prayer. 3 o'clock we gonna make our prayer. That's only the ulama allowed them to do that to keep the unity of the Muslims. See? That's not exactly the starting time of the prayers. So let's say somebody like me, who I can look at the sky, like let's say I'm not going to the masjid to make this prayer. Because if I'm going to go to the masjid to make this prayer, I'm going to make it in the congregation. So whatever time they have set, that's the right time. But let's say I'm not going to the masjid to make this prayer. I know that they make their prayer at 12:30. But, I'm looking at the signs and stuff, and I say, well, actually the prayer's already in. I don't have to wait till 12:30 when they make the prayer, because I can see that the prayer's already in. So I make my prayer. Now let's say I make my prayer, and then I decide I have to go to the mosque for something else. So when I walk in the mosque for something else, they are just starting to make their prayer that I already made. I make my prayer with them again. And I'll say, well, the prayer that I made by myself, I'll call that a nafil, and I'll call this one the fard. Because it has more benefit to pray with more people. Following me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's
But what, like, for me, the case wasn't that then I ended up going to the mosque and then seeing...
No, you just want to know about your time.
Yeah.
So if you know what time the prayer normally comes in, if you know what time the prayer comes in by the sun, moon, and stars, that takes precedent over the time that the people set their pre-set time clock.
Yeah. But if I don't know, like for example, I mean I kind of know the signs for Maghrib, but like for Dhuhr and Asr, for example, like I know you've explained a little bit, but it's
Sun.
yeah, but it's not.
You didn't retain the information.
I guess I didn't.
Bad for you. But okay, but look.
But also, it seems difficult to.
How much time in between the time that you make your prayer and you see on the calendar or the prayer book?
Maybe 5 minutes.
That's nothing.
Okay.
Then forget it. Your prayer's okay.
Okay, that's what I figured because I knew the times aren't.
Let me tell you something.
Precise, so.
In the Islamic Center, when the people come to pray, they're praying a half an hour after the time for the prayer actually came in. Because that's the time they set in the mosque to give everybody a chance to come in, to congregate, to make their prayer together. Doesn't mean that the prayer time is not already in, and somebody made their prayer before that prayer that they're making, that their prayer would not be good. Their prayer was good. It's probably better than theirs. Except that they're making it in congregation, so they get more reward. Say it again.
I've never visited a mosque.
You never? You go anytime you want to go, let us know. There's one right up the street. There's big Islamic Center. You should go and visit. Bring Sky with you.
The only time I see her is in the morning.
Oh.
When we take the kids to school.
Alhamdulillah.
That's the only time because her son and my daughter is in the same school. That's the only time I see her.
Okay. Well, maybe y'all should make more of an appointment to talk with each other more. Because y'all two in the same place. You have to go. Y'all got to work together. You know what I mean? And then when you want to go to the mosque, you call here. My wife will say, "Okay, come on." And if there's a day that she's open to be able to do it, anybody who has the ability to help you do that, that's our duty. We're gonna help you go. We're gonna make you comfortable. We're gonna show you the ins and outs and all of that.
Because I've always wanted to know, this is the network that I have. Besides my cousin, he's always busy.
Right.
Okay, but inshallah,
I mean, I could make time whenever you guys.
okay, I'm available every other weekend, so if you want to go on a Saturday or a Sunday, or you want to go after class,
but no, my advice would be to go before class. So if y'all want to go, you can go before class, and then you can make your prayer, the Zohar prayer with the imam and the congregation from the ladies area, and then come over here. So prepare for your class, because that's what I'm doing. I'll be coming right behind you to do your class. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we can make that arrangement, inshallah, because you need to be able to do that. And, you may want to, talk to Sheikh Saad or, something like that. I advise you, then you get a stronger impression because, I'm the only one that you guys get to talk to, basically. But like they got a lot of like sheikhs and imams and scholars and stuff like that. That everybody has different personalities. So maybe some of them will it'll put the fervor in you even more. Like Sheikh Hassan. Whenever I went and talked to Sheikh Hassan, I came back feeling stronger than I was when I left. See? Every time. And I didn't even have to talk to him about anything so deep or nothing. It's just like his personality. Every time I went to talk to Sheikh Hassan, I came back, I had a rejuvenated feeling for Islam. When Dr. Dunya was alive, every time I went sat with Dr. Dunya, talked with him, it's like nothing else mattered. That was my life was consumed with that. And my wife, as I told brothers in class today, I said, when I was studying with Dr. Dunya, my wife never thought my husband could be out with another woman or nothing like that. She knew exactly where I was. She said, well, no, he's not here, but I know where he is. He's right over there in that mosque with Dr. Suleiman Dunya sitting right next to him. And she's always going to be right with that because that's my life. That was my life. So, it's good that you do that, Okay, inshallah. Okay, what time is it? Oh, it's almost time for you ladies to leave. I know you gotta go.
Sorry.
I know you gotta go.
We have to actually go together, so.
You gotta go together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want me to stop here?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you're saying.
If she want to stay a little longer, she can stay with me.
Okay. Yeah.
And because she may want to ask some stuff that I'm not talking about with you guys.
Okay.
That's okay. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وآل بيته كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم إني أسألك من كل خير سألك منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم وأعوذ بك من كل شر استغفرك منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم اغفر لنا وخدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما لنا وما أتعلم به من أربانة في الدنيا حسن وفي الآخرة حسن وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الماء والممات ومن فتنة القبر ومن فتنة مصير الرجال ومن عذاب النار وسوء المصير وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Okay, thank you for coming to see me.